Good evening. How are you all tonight? I hope you're doing well. I do just want to point out something to reaffirm my earlier claims. Because this is the most hilarious stuff going on. Because apparently I'm a liberal. Apparently I'm a liar. Well, I'm all kinds of things. You can go over to the community tab and look at the thing from yesterday that was posted last night. And all the comments. Oh, by the way, I left them all there. Huh. Wait a minute. So I didn't delete the comments. I didn't mute the people. I left their comments there. What a novel idea. What a novel idea. So, in other words, let me get this straight. I didn't censor and silence people to make it appear like everybody just agreed with me. What a novel idea. Integrity. You know, you'll see that mentioned multiple times, by the way, integrity in there. People saying that he had integrity. I don't know. Maybe they've got a different dictionary. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to point out, and I prefer you not use it. I prefer you not use it. If you ever want to help us out, I prefer, and I know they're not popular right now, but I prefer the PayPal link in the description of the videos. That's what I prefer. But if you have an absolute aversion to PayPal and you don't mind dealing with Google or YouTube, we did re-enable the super chat option. I turned on super thanks, whatever the heck, and super stickers. So I turned all that stuff on. It is what it is. But that was very cool that monetization got taken care of. So that's all squared away. Know for a fact it's working now. Yeah, that was actually a pleasurable interaction with that individual. So, and he liked my humor. Because, you know, we got talking, you know, he was talking about amount, you know, money that you're making, and I don't expect to make a lot, right? And I forget what it was he said, but he was just saying the things he was supposed to say, right? And so I made some kind of comment like, wait, you mean I actually have to put effort in my content? Blasphemy. I actually saved a copy of all the chat, so. But, anyway, because that's not what I'm here for, and that's why I laugh when people say, oh, he's jealous of this channel. Well, first of all, I really wouldn't suggest that you accuse me of breaking one of the 10 Commandments, because that's coveting. I would highly suggest you not. I mean, it's your, you know, it's your judgment. I don't care. But, no. I've never worried about subs. I've never worried about video views. I've been doing this since 2004 or 14, and that has never been ever even a thought, a consideration, a concern, because that's not why I'm here. In fact, in my conversation with Manu, what's his name? In my conversation with him multiple times when we were talking about this, about monetization and going through trying to figure out what was wrong, because it was kind of odd. We were talking about it, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I don't care, you know, if I don't get monetized. I said, I do this in service of the Father. I mean, I've got a copy of the chat. I said multiple times, it doesn't really matter. I do this in service of the Father. And, you know, it is what it is. let's see. Anything else? There's plenty of stuffs. Plenty of stuffs. Yeah. Let's get to talking about this Kanye thing, because I'm not news, and Mr. Hypocrite's not news. Kanye, now, that's, I hate to say it, but that's some news. In a sense, I do think it goes beyond pop culture news, considering that, his whole notion of throwing his hat in the ring. But I am actually a bit concerned when I see things like that happen today, because it's just very reminiscent. Very reminiscent. And, hey, I hope I'm wrong, and there's probably a damn good chance I'm wrong. But I am concerned a little bit about it, I can't lie to you. So, first off, I want to clear some stuff up, because, man, I'll tell you what, it's amazing the experts that just come out of the woodwork with everything, and they don't even look it up. They don't look it up. So, Kanye made some pretty wild claims, and, see, here's the thing. Kanye, I think his biggest problem is he's really not that bright, and he's not good at articulating himself. That would be like me up there trying to do that. I would probably be worse than Kanye, okay? And it's not because I'm a bad guy. It's because I can't articulate myself in a way that other people How do you even put it? I'm blunt. I'm straight to the point, and I mean it. And I'm boom. Why not? Why do we jerk each other around? I don't get it. And don't get me wrong. I don't just walk up to people and I'm rude or something. I don't walk up to, why would you wear those clothes or something like that. No, absolutely not. Not even remotely close. But if there's a matter that deserves my attention to address, I'm going to address it, and I'm going to have my attention on it, and I'm going to be direct with it. I'm not going to sit there and waste anybody's time. I'm not going to mislead people. When the good book says, let your yes be yes and your no be no, it damn well means it. And it covers more than just yes and no. It also means to, walk the walk that you talk. It absolutely means that. So anyway, he had made some claims, and Kanye was a bit off. The highway thing, I don't know. And there's probably some bit of information there, because that's like with the microphone. He made a claim that that Hitler invented the microphone. No, not the microphone. There's a difference between inventing the, as in the first one, and inventing a, meaning another one or another option. He invented a microphone, not the microphone. Big, huge difference. And anybody that doubts that, I've actually got one right behind me. Let me show you. Kid you not, it's my radio bag, right? I'm not joking. I've got a quote-unquote Hitler mic in here. It's not a Hitler mic, but you know what I mean. If I grab the right pouch. Hang on. So, this here, and you can't see it really well, but right there, if I'm getting it right there and right there are microphones. Well, at least on one of them. I don't know if it's on both sides or just one, but you get the idea. Those are microphones, not the tube thing. That's your earpiece, okay? That's your earpiece. Those right there At least one of them, at least one side, is a microphone. It's a throat mic. Okay? That is what Kanye either did or did not know he was talking about. I'm kind of thinking that he did not know what he was talking about. But, it was like, here's 5 fast facts for, Nazi inventions, It almost seemed like that's what he did. He just looked at the clip notes real quick right before the show and didn't really know the information. So I can't speak to the highways. No, there are no hot girls waiting there. I assure you there's no hot girls waiting there. Let's see. Okay. I don't know about the highway claim. I'd have to look into that. I know not the highway, right? But he could have possibly invented some component to it or some method to it or something like that. Hydraulic press is the one that's always stood out to me. I worked in hydraulics. That might, I don't know, be why that stands out so much. But the hydraulic press / hydraulic jack, that was another one, and you can look that up. That's just a thing. Oops. I think everybody, and I'm not saying I like Kanye, I'm not saying I agree with Kanye. Let's make that clear. But there's a lot of people that automatically, they had an emotional response to the things that he said on both sides of the topic. And that's true with about everything today. That's kind of one of the problems. And so I kind of see, in a sense, what he was trying to do. I don't understand. I'm telling you, I'm confused by what I am seeing. But there is one thing for certain. Debate this. It sure got attention. It sure got attention. How much attention has a single event got? When was the last time a single event got the attention, the instant attention, as the Alex Jones Kanye West interview? That went crazy wide, crazy fast. Almost eerily. Almost odd how that went out. How quick it went out, and I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know how quick you could get it out, but So we'll see. Just kick back and watch. That's kind of the moral of the story. Kind of kick back and watch what's unfolding, because we've got 2 years, and who knows what's going to happen in the meantime. That's a long time. That's a hell of a long time. And, it's not like there's even anybody locked in or anything like that. So this is, at the starting gate, so to speak, for the 2024 election. So we'll see what happens. Do I think he's a real threat? If this is actually authentic and organic, no. Not at all. Not even remotely. Could I see the establishment installing him? You better believe it. They could really use somebody like him in there. I'm telling ya. They could really use somebody like him in there. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, what if I told you that, there could be a slight possibility at some point in time that the United States could actually prop up a president with dementia that can't even keep his concentration or has problems with it quite a bit. It's not just a speech impairment. What's going on there is not just a speech impairment. Now, if it were just a speech impairment, I would defend it. I would defend him if it were. It's a fact. But it's not. Yeah, but the thing, and I did, I actually made a statement, because I didn't think he actually, Kanye, I didn't think he actually said the words. Here, let me bring this up. Sorry. I didn't think he actually said the actual words that he liked Hitler. He did. But he said it real quick. And then, like, later on, he says it a different way. He's, like this. I see good things about Hitler also, he responded. So he did actually say that. Man, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I don't know. This is just, it's eerie to me. Okay, it's eerie to me. Because again, I'll remind you that you would probably think I'm crazy if I said that about a dementia patient being the leader of the United States of America. If I would have said something to you about that, I don't know, say 5 years ago, what would you have told me? That I was as crazy as saying today that we might want to beware of Kanye West and the presidency. Be about that crazy, I would agree. Absolutely about that crazy. And again, if it's organic and authentic, no, not a chance. Won't even get far. But I'm not convinced that it is organic or authentic. Now, it's one of those things. Anyway, I'm not going to go into depth in this article because you guys already heard this 100 times today. So, but yeah, the way the way he did it, holy cow, dude. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the angle. I don't get if he was, I don't know. But I did watch Tim Pool. Sorry, and I know I'm whatever you want to call that, just kind of stuttering around myself, but that's because I don't know, can I say the word flabbergasted? I have to kick my own ass for saying flabbergasted. Yeah, about as crazy as Hexafus said. No, not about as crazy as Hexafus. Let me clear that up. Hexafus said about as crazy as Spetterman needing an assistant to answer questions. But the other one might have worked too. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's almost as crazy. I can't say that. I can't say that. There is a person in a particular medical position in the United States of America that is the opposite of the medical position that they hold. I think I can get away with that. Uh-oh. Jen's rebooting. I see Windows booting up. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to deal with her computer. I got to redo Windows on it. So, and I know that's not normally a big deal, but I don't have a good flash drive. Not, well, I do, but not one big enough for my Windows install. Anyway, let's move on from this train wreck, because that is a train wreck. Well, the entire show, this show is a train wreck, but a train wreck talking about a train wreck makes it even worse. Elon Musk, and this is actually probably what I should have put my focus on, and you know, I have to ask the question, because I do, it's kind of my job. I have to ask the question, is the whole Kanye fiasco, could that in any way remotely possibly be a distraction from this? Because if you were to ask me if there was a headline that should have been spread far and wide today, that should have ran across everybody's foreheads, this one would have been a good candidate at least. Elon Musk names new timeline for human brain chip tests. Are you listening? Elon Musk has claimed that a wireless chip developed by his company Neuralink could start human clinical trials in 6 months. In 6 months. The world's richest man also stated that the biotech startup is confident that their device could restore movement in those who suffer from paralysis. I have no doubt they can do that. Speaking at a show and tell event in the company's headquarters in California on Wednesday, Musk showcased a brain-computer interface which looked like a stack of several coins with hundreds of thin threads, and it's intended to be implanted in humans by a surgical robot. How do you like that? Couldn't you imagine a power surge during that, you know? Not good. And I'm all for using this type of technology to improve the lives of disabled individuals. I mean, that to me is incredible. If you could if you could help people walk again by doing stuff like this, you better believe I'm behind that. But for the reasons they're going to be using it, let me continue. This says such a device could potentially restore full body functionality to those that have severed spinal cord or bring back vision to people that had never seen, Musk claimed. Hey, I got no problems doing stuff like that. And I'm not saying that the whole, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not saying that we should prevent that. What I'm saying is that before this explodes, we might want to put out some, limitations. Money is the biggest driver. And as long as people can profit, it doesn't matter the evil. That's what it's about. That's why, people want to laugh. Small YouTube channels, yeah. I'm good with that. I like that. I'm not here to be famous and make money. Let's see. I don't get it. I don't get some people, I think they look at themselves and think everybody else is that way. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this goes on to say, let me make sure. According to the billionaire, who has also become CEO of Twitter, the company has submitted most of its paperwork to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which ensures, among other things, the safety of medical devices. We think probably in about 6 months we should be able to have our first Neuralink in a human, he said, adding that the company wants to be extremely careful when it comes to such delicate endeavors. The presentation featured a video with what Musk said was a monkey using a brain implant to move a cursor and telepathically type on a computer keyboard. He also expressed hope that the such devices, which could allow for a transfer of information between humans and machines, will become widespread. You are so used to being a de facto cyborg, but if you're interacting with your phone, you're limited, the Neuralink co-founder stated. Hang on, I gotta sip coffee. Neuralink has repeatedly missed deadlines for gaining FDA approval for human trials. In 2019, Musk said he wanted to get the go-ahead by the end of 2020. Later in 2021, he claimed that he hoped to start this year with trials involving humans. In recent months, Neuralink has also found itself in hot water after it admitted to killing 8 monkeys during the trial of its brain chip technology. However, the firm insisted that it's working with animals in the most humane way, dismissing allegations that the monkeys had been subjected to extreme suffering. You know, I think it's crazy. And as far, okay, let me do this. Hey, Jen. If you could undergo an operation like an implant, now I know that wouldn't fix you, but what's if, okay? If that would completely rid you of cerebral palsy, to have a brain implant. Now, let me make this clear. That it appeared that that's all this did, that it didn't connect you to Skynet. It just would delete your cerebral palsy. That's all that the brain implant would do. Would you do it? You kind of don't know, and it's a serious question, you know, and I actually appreciate her honesty. She put some thinking in there, because it's a serious decision. I could tell by her body mechanics that she's tempted. She's interested. But, well, she's cautious. That's her nature, to be cautious anyway. But I think that there are a lot of individuals that would do it if it took care of a disability. And I know some people have a huge issue with that, even if it was just for medical only. I don't. Now, that when I say I don't, that doesn't mean I would go do it. What that means is I don't have a right to say that she can't do it. Hey, I don't have the right to tell her that she can't have an implant put in her so that she could operate her mobile phone without putting it in her hand. I ain't got that right. That's up to her. But maybe we need to talk have a conversation as far as, you know, this thing called humanity is concerned. Because giving that type of control to a non-human entity, probably not a good idea. And I'm not saying that because I've seen too many sci-fi movies. I'm telling you right now that AI, if given the control and opportunity, would absolutely delete humanity. I guarantee it. I guarantee right now, if they let things run amok, if they just let things go full maximum overdrive, now hear me out. Meaning, they'd probably have to do a little bit of helping. You let the advanced AI programs out into the interwebs, just openly, freely, and give them control over different things like factories and stuff like that, other robotics corporations. I guarantee you it's only a matter of time before they adapt and learn to build, create, and dominate. If you don't think that an AI technological world could wipe out the human race, and I know a lot of people are going to think I sound silly, or their ego is going to want to say, you're nuts. You're nuts if you don't think that an AI entity could absolutely wipe out the human race. It'd be so easy to do, whether it was just a virus released, whether it was some type of I'm thinking bomb or explosion, some type of thing like that. You have to also think that they're gonna need to be able to continue to exist, and they're gonna so you can't split the earth apart if they're gonna exist. That is a good conversation though. If AI got control, how would they destroy the human race? Which, that's up in the air just as much as it would be with humans, but I could see viral being certainly a way. That'd do the trick. Anyway, got a little bit off base there. However, it's crazy. But I'm actually glad that this headline came out, that, and the reason why is because I'd just been talking about this, and I'd just been warning people about this whole, Elon must be a patriot, must be on our side, must, not so quick. Not so quick. Connect this with the, interview that he did, talking about how he'd essentially like to turn Twitter into something like a WeChat. Connect all the dots together. I don't think he's the hero that unfortunately many are going to claim he is. Pentagon signs $1.2 billion deal. Wow, can't speak. Dylan Beale on air defense systems for Ukraine. Now, is it this one? Hang on. Okay, there was some other stuff too. I might not have brought that up. Let me just go ahead and read this. U.S. Army has announced a $1.2 billion contract to produce 6 national advanced surface-to-air missile systems, or NASAMS, for Ukraine amid its conflict with Russia has been awarded to the defense conglomerate Raytheon. Work will be performed in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, with an estimated completion date of November 28, 2025, the Department of Defense said in a statement on Wednesday. That's a great idea, just putting right out there where you're making them. Kiev has so far received 2 out of 8 NASAMS units promised by Washington. The remaining systems are expected to be delivered to Ukraine once they are built. Aside from the batteries themselves, the contract includes associated equipment and spare parts, along with training and logistical support for Ukraine's military. The deal is funded under the so-called Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, which allows the Biden administration to procure weapons from the defense industry instead of taking them from existing U.S. military stocks. Ukraine has said is in dire need of air defense systems due to Russia's recent large-scale missile strikes. Well, I can't speak. Against military targets and energy infrastructure. Moscow has stepped up the pressure on Kiev since October 10, when it accused Ukraine of using terrorist tactics and targeting Russian infrastructure, including the strategic Crimean Bridge. Hang on. The Pentagon claims that the newly provided NASAM systems have so far shown a 100% success rate in intercepting Russian missiles in Ukraine. Russia's defense ministry, however, insists that after every missile barrage, all intended targets were hit. Washington has so far been Kiev's main backer during the conflict with Moscow, providing Vladimir Zelensky's government with more than $19.8 billion worth of military aid. That's insanity. It's a shame that they couldn't help the American people out that much, including sophisticated hardware such as HIMARS, multiple rocket launchers, M777 howitzers, and combat drones. And a partridge in a pear tree. Russia has long been critical of weapon supplies to Ukraine by the U.S. and its allies, saying that they only prolong the conflict and increase the risk of a direct confrontation between NATO and Moscow. He probably did give him the damn partridge in the pear. He probably gave him the pear tree, too. Crazy pills. You got some crazy pills? I'm kidding. Russia warns of huge risks of sliding into nuclear war. Thought this was kind of an interesting set of statements. Lavrov made a lot of statements today. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has warned that any conflict between nuclear states is likely to escalate into an all-out nuclear war, and thus should be avoided at all costs. Any war between nuclear powers is unacceptable. Even if someone decides to start it using conventional means, there will be a huge risk of escalating it into a nuclear one, Lavrov stated during a press conference on Thursday. The diplomat was asked about Moscow and Washington's joint efforts to reduce their strategic capabilities. Lavrov responded by pointing out that in September 2021, the U.S. had essentially frozen the bilateral talks on reaching an agreement on the limitation of strategic offensive arms long before Russia launched its military operation in Ukraine. It's not hard to figure out what their reasoning was, Lavrov noted. He admitted, however, that Washington and Moscow's responsibilities as the two largest nuclear powers in the world do not change, and recalled a joint statement made by Russian and American leaders that a nuclear war cannot be won by anyone and therefore must not be allowed to start. The minister added that Russia was willing to take the statement further and stressed that any conflict between nuclear states is unacceptable, as even a conventional war has a huge risk of escalating into a nuclear altercation. This is also why we are so anxiously watching the rhetoric the West spews out, accusing us of preparing some alleged provocations using weapons of mass destruction, Lavrov said. I'm going to make a note on this, noting that the West, including the USA, France, and UK, are doing everything to increase their almost direct participation in the conflict in Ukraine, where he says they are essentially waging war against Russia through the hands of the Ukrainians. Now, I want to make a comment on quote-unquote weapons of mass destruction. Immediately after the Boston Marathon bombing, the United States redefined what a quote-unquote weapon of mass destruction was. And a weapon of mass destruction went from something like, oh, I don't know, a missile, right? Or you could even say flying a plane into World Trade Center buildings would be using that plane as a weapon of mass destruction. I can agree with that. 3,000 lives. I can agree with that being a weapon of mass destruction. But after the Boston Marathon bombing, that got redefined to anything including a pressure cooker bomb. You know, anything down to even something like that. I'm thinking, now, we need, don't get me wrong, we need strict, and I mean strict, for anything like that. But I'm not a fan of the idea of redefining things so broadly. And there's reasons for that. If you can get everybody to agree that a weapon, and let's just say like the type used at the Boston Marathon, then that means that even a military fighting combat could be charged with international war crimes for using beyond conventional means of warfare. You know, we're talking about people that aren't breaking things like the Geneva Convention rules of war, but are being charged as if they were. And that's the extreme on it, being utilized in warfare. The other end of it is how could it be used, you know, and I don't know. It's just one of those things. Always be careful, and I hope people can understand this these days. Be very careful anytime they try to redefine something. Try to figure out their angle, because I can promise you that you're not going to benefit. Right. No weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. No. But you know what? You know what there was there? In a lot of those places, those bunkers, you know, where the WMDs were, it wasn't WMDs, but there was like a bunch of gold bars and stuff. In fact, oddly enough, specifically in many of the places they looked for WMDs was pallets of gold. Nah, coincidental, man. Coincidental. Just like, you know, notion that somebody with dementia could be president of the United States. You guys are silly. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I would agree with what he's saying, but my whole point of the article is the discussion itself. Do I think we're on the verge of nuclear war? No, I don't. Because like I've said before, I think that it's a dog and pony show. All of it. All of it. Certainly not wide scale. You know, they might nuke a city or two to scare people. But it wouldn't be, you know, mutually assured destruction. Not even remotely. It'd be ignorant. Now, I don't know, if you got somebody whacked out enough in there, maybe, possibly, but I don't see that happening. Ukraine claims all NATO members approve of its membership. Well, the thing is I'm pretty sure most of them actually do. And the whole reason that I brought this article up to mention is to remind you of that. I think that very quick, like in short order, we're going to see Ukraine adopted into NATO. And I think it's going to go quick. So we'll see. Once again, I think it's all a dog and pony show. But Putin claims that's, the absolute red line. So I guess maybe they're gonna fall. I don't know. Pentagon ran Call of Duty recruitment drive, says the media, and I'd warned about this kind of stuff for a very long time. I mean, I'm not saying that, oh my God, the kids were really running robotic humanoids that were, no. Nor am I saying that they are being necessarily programmed. Maybe in some ways, but not in the conspiracy theorist, not the insane conspiracy theorist ways. Because there's people that really take stuff far lately. I mean, it's just insane, the claims. It really, truly is how far out there people will throw claims. Like I've said, and I mean it. The whole lying thing, people do it like taking a drink of water. I don't understand that. I absolutely don't understand that. Man, I do my very best to meter everything that comes out of my mouth. Make sure that everything that I'm saying, that I have looked into enough to know at least the likelihood of whether or not it's accurate. I mean, it's crazy. You won't see me just sharing all kinds of memes and stuff like that on social media. I won't do it. Especially like the ones that say, I don't know, it'll have a topic and then it will list different things, right? Nope. You know how many times that I see those lists and I'll be like, that's accurate. Nope. And it'll be a mixture of true things and a mixture of lies. And people will share it out like crazy. Now, that may not sound like a big deal to most people. It is what it is. And a lot of those most people will claim to you that they believe in God. At least they'll do that much while they're out there lying like taking a drink of water. We're to be set apart. We are supposed to come out of her, my people. And I'm not trying to turn this into a Bible lesson, but I'm just saying. The good book also talks about people that told the truth would be hated. The people that lied and pandered and flattered others would be loved. No, it's not like that, is it? Think about that. That's one thing I often laugh at when I get ridiculed. Especially when I get ridiculed because we're small. It's like, damn right we're small. Pentagon ran Call of Duty recruitment drive, says media. I read the headline. Struggling to entice new recruits, the U.S. Army was prepared to spend millions of dollars on esports tournaments, sponsorships of popular Call of Duty streamers, and other online gaming events, according to internal documents obtained by Vice's motherboard. The sponsorships never came to fruition in many cases, as the military called off its spending after Call of Duty's publisher Activision faced sexual harassment complaints last year. One document instructs the Army to focus on the growth of females, black, and Hispanics. The documents were obtained by Motherboard through a Freedom of Information Act request. Among the events it wanted to sponsor was the Twitch's platform's Historically Black Colleges and Universities Exports League, sorry. The Army planned to spend $1 million on that event. Let's see. Call of Duty was seen as a potentially useful branding and recruiting tool, Motherboard said. Absolutely. And I am sure that they've used it for such, one way or another. But wouldn't go get too crazy with the conspiracies. Documents propose that Twitch influencers could create original content videos showcasing the wide range of skill sets offered by the Army, as well as familiarizing gamers with Army values. I'll sound it out, right? What was that? Hooked on phonics works for me. The military wanted to spend $750,000 on the official Call of Duty League esports and on the streaming service Paramount Plus, as well as $200,000 sponsoring the mobile version of the game. The document suggested players who viewed Army ads would receive in-game currency. Popular streamer, and that's not a big deal. Popular streamer Stone Mountain 64, with an audience of more than 2.3 million, was also in line to be sponsored for $150,000. The Army decided to pause all activities with Activision after accusations of sexual harassment emerged in August 2021. Neither Activision nor the U.S. Army provided Motherboard with a comment. The Pentagon has been struggling to recruit Gen Z with COVID-19 restrictions and shifting perceptions of the military among the reasons, the outlet said. High standards around physical health, tattoos, and past drug use are also putting some off, it said. High standards around physical health, I just want you to pay attention, tattoos, and past drug use are also putting some off. So, I wonder if they're going to loosen the stipulations for such. In June, NBC reported, hey, as long as you don't, deploy on mushrooms, you're good, yo, come on. In June, NBC reported that every branch of the U.S. military is behind in its recruitment targets for 2022. The outlet cited an internal Defense Department survey which found just 9% of eligible citizens aged 17 to 24 have any intention to serve in the armed forces, the lowest number since 2007. I don't know. You probably don't have much need in the military for somebody that took first a basket weaving class and then followed up with a why it is racist to basket weave class. Just saying. Where are you at with the Top Gun movie? I know, right? And I mean, is that not today's society, that you would take a basket weaving class and then immediately afterwards take a course that taught you how basket weaving was racist? Oh, okay, Top Gun movie. Yeah, exactly. And all that kind of stuff they did. And, it is what it is. I mean, as long as they don't cross lines like, crazy stuff like subliminal or, as long as they don't cross lines like that, if it's just an ad or whatever, more power to them. That's fine. Hey, anybody that makes that choice that they want to serve in the military, yeah, they should be able to see that that is an option for them. Absolutely. But as long as it doesn't, as long as it's not something that's beyond reasonable propaganda, you know what I mean? A lot of people that served are like, because I never served. I want to make that very clear. A lot of people that served, I don't know, there might be a good mix on how they would feel about my comment about the propaganda, but from a lot of individuals that I've talked to that served, what they were promised and what they got was a little bit different. A little bit. Got some headlines for you. Imagine that. I wonder, maybe I should just stop resisting so much. You think? I think I'm too rebellious. Yeah, I'm pretty hard on people that make name changes, and I was pretty hard on Kanye for wanting to be known as Ye. Maybe I really need to stop fighting so hard. All these changes, all these new things. I think from now on, I just want people to refer to me as, you know, for Mike. From now on, just, yeah, I'm just going to have people call me. Yeah, it's time I embrace this. What happened was, I got the mushrooms, not the military. No, I'm kidding. I'm not tripping. Homie couldn't do that anymore, man. Have I ever done mushrooms? Yes, I have. More than once. Did I enjoy doing mushrooms? Yes, I did. More than once. Would I do them today? Absolutely not. I probably wouldn't survive. But will I laugh about my past? You better believe it, man. That was some fun stuff. Not meaning shrooms, I'm talking about my past, some of the stuff I've done. Now, some of it was some pretty damn stupid. Well, a lot of it was pretty damn stupid, but some of the pretty damn stupid was fun. Let's see. Mother and child killed after tornadoes hit U.S. South. Court strikes blow against Biden student debt scheme. Germany's jobless stupid pop-up. Germany's jobless count keeps rising, data shows. Inflation in France remains at historic high, says a report. Pentagon signs $1.2 billion deal on air defense systems for Ukraine. U.S. mulls training boost for Ukrainian troops, says CNN. U.S. climate law risks fragmenting the West, says Macron. Parcel bomb intercepted at Spanish airbase, says media. No European security without Russia and Belarus, says Moscow. Scholes explains need for U.S. warplanes. Well, you see, it's like this. India remains fastest growing major economy. Oh, hey, I'm not, I won't say doing any amount of psilocybin is not okay. I mean, I'm good with people doing it. I got no problem. I got no problem with it being legal in the places that it's legal. Nope, not a bit. In fact, I think it needs to expand. And I'm not saying, oh man, they need to make it all legal. I don't know. I'm not so comfortable with going that far. But when it comes to shrooms, when it comes to things like MDMA, obviously marijuana, yeah, you better believe. Absolutely. Why? Knowledge. Knowledge. I don't address that situation with emotion. I don't address that situation with propaganda given to me by the government through the school system and the news and everything else. You know? You can go and watch multiple documentaries on the work that had been done with psilocybin, with MDMA, and stuff like that, especially 70s, I guess, when a lot of studies were going on. And it was insane, the successful results that they were having in psychology with MDMA. With shrooms or psilocybin, it's absolutely insane. What's the right word? The results of the experiments that they have done quite recently, as a matter of fact, when it comes to dementia patients, for example. They have been doing quite a bit of work, actually, with shrooms, with psilocybin, that is, as of lately. And so, absolutely, I support it both on medical grounds and for recreational. Who am I to say that you shouldn't go whack yourself out and talk to a tree some weekend? That's not my job to tell you you can't do that. And to be quite honest, it's not my position to tell you that you can't go overdose on some other kind of... Do I want you to? No. Do I want you to have the capability to, the ability to? No. Do I want there to be laws preventing you from doing what you want that's not directly harming another individual? No, I'm not good with that. Not good with that. We have gotten way too much comfortable with way too many laws and way too much control. And it's gotten to a point that when it comes to medical things, when it comes to quote-unquote drugs, there are many ways in which you can't better yourself because they don't want you to do it, largely for reasons of loss of profit. I have a hard time with that slippery slope. Let's see. India remains fastest growing major economy. I don't know if I read that one. Moscow responds to NATO members' call to strike Russia. FTX founder denies fraud with billions in crypto missing. Support for Ukraine in U.S. is softening, says poll. Lavrov rubbishes lies about Ukraine peace talks. Elon Musk names new timeline for human brain chip test. Oh, duh, I read that one. EU lowering price cap for Russian oil, says Bloomberg. Really, I don't know who that is. Paul Stamets. I'm not sure who that is. Cured his stuttering while sitting on a tree on shrooms. I'm absolutely not going to say that's not correct. Absolutely. Because I can actually theoretically see how that could happen. I can absolutely see how that could fix those crossed wires in the brain. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's see. France has no more weapons to send to Ukraine, says Politico. Suspected explosive package found in U.S. Embassy in Madrid, says media. EU has no legal way to seize Russian assets, says officials. U.S. and NATO directly involved in Ukraine conflict, says Lavrov. Kremlin hits back at tribunal calls. EU countries' economy shrinking. I was just looking. Jen brought him up. I was just looking over to see who he was. Oh, I see. Okay, Hexapooch just said he's big in the field of mushrooms. Did you say he's in a big field of mushrooms, or he's big in the? I'm kidding. Both, right? Where was I? I don't know if I said Kremlin hits back at tribunal calls. If not, I said it again. EU countries' economy shrinking. Belarus has deterred potential enemy attacks so far, says Lukashenko. Switzerland reveals amount of frozen Russian assets. China protests flagrant violation by the UK. It's flagrant. Like flamboyant, but not as happy. Germany's genocide resolution is shameful, says former Russian president. Pentagon tried to recruit young Americans to... Oh, I read that one. I'm horrible at that tonight. Now wait. He was sitting in a tree during a thunderstorm on mushrooms. Did he get struck by lightning too, by chance? And if he did get struck by lightning, did it really happen? I'm just messing with you, by the way. Parasite grows inside woman's cheek after mosquito bite. That sucks. EU refuses to apologize for deleted post about Ukrainian casualties. I think I missed that one. English is your first language. Yeah, I don't have a first language. English is the only one I kind of know. All NATO countries agree on need for Ukraine membership, says minister. Taliban bans Voice of America. It's crazy when I read, that headline, when I read it earlier, I'm like, that's just so crazy to say. Almost like saying something as crazy as Joe Biden is president. Ukraine charges priest for praising Russia. German finance ministry reject call to solve ammo crisis, says media. Covered that. Russian tycoons get lengthy prison terms in World Cup corruption case. That would be it. Crazy. That's all I got. Oh, but not struck by lightning. Okay. Yeah, I had to have fun with that, man. That was priceless. Anyway, I am gonna get out of here. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you for coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.